Mhm. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Milena and Green Forest webinars are online. Today, as promised, we will be talking about past tenses. We have a series of 3 webinars, and our first webinar is dedicated to past simple and the structure used to. How to use them correctly, what is the difference, and what do they have in common is something that we're going to discuss today. I wanted to remind you that our webinars are not simply an online presentation. It's a sort of interactive activity. So you will need to prepare some writing materials, prepare your papers, pens or pencils. You will need to do some exercises and follow me. In case you have some questions, you can ask them online and we will gladly answer them. My beautiful assistant will help me today to share a presentation with you, and we're going to do that immediately. Let's share the presentation. And okay, perfect. I'm back to the studio. Good. So past simple and used to. It's the topic of our discussion. Good. Good. So first of all, let's refresh some information about past simple. We were talking about it last week, and we remember that we used past simple to talk about actions and situations that started and finished in the past. Normally, you can answer the question when. He played in a band 2 years ago. I cooked dinner yesterday. And usually, as I said, different time expressions that help you to answer the question when are such as yesterday, in June, in 1995, in the 80s, also last night, month or week, last year. Please remember that in English language, we don't say in last month or in last year. We only say last night, last month, last week. A week ago, 2 days ago. Those are the typical markers of past simple. Let's do a little exercise right now. You will need your pens and papers, and we will practice with past simple. Your job is to open the brackets and to use the tenses in the correct form. To use the verbs, I'm sorry, in the correct form, which is past simple. Okay, guys, I hope you have had enough time to do the exercise. Let's check the answers together, shall we? So, the telephone rang last night. I'm sorry, number one, the telephone rang. The second form is rang. The next one, Maria didn't finish work early yesterday. Good. Number three, you need to make a question. Did the train stop? Number four, David brought his pet mouse to the school. 2 days ago? Number 5, Jane began to work at 6 o'clock. Number 6, suddenly a bird flew in the window. And number 7, Tom and Anna had breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning. I hope you also remembered the forms of irregular verbs. Let's move on. A little exercise number 2. And here we already have the answers. It's just for you to observe the usage. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I didn't hide the answers beforehand, so it's just a lucky slide for you to have the answers immediately. Good. So, and exercise number 3 is a little bit more complicated. Here you have questions which you need to put in order. Yes? Recompose the questions. For example, I will give you a little example for the first one. We have a selection of words like when, start, did, learning English, you. Obviously, the good question would be, when did you start learning English? Good. Again, with this little slide, I hope you managed to refresh your knowledge about the questions and practice recomposing questions. Me, on the other hand, what I'm going to do, I'm going to interview my colleagues about those questions. So, my dear colleagues, Oksana and Oля will answer some of the questions. Oля, when did you start learning English?
I started learning English when I was 5.
Oh, that is so interesting at a very young age. Oksana, you have very beautiful shoes. When did you buy these shoes?
I bought these shoes last summer when I was on vacation in France.
Oh, that is so nice. French shoes. Ola, did you watch TV last night?
I'm afraid I didn't. I don't even have a TV at home.
Oh, that's a pity. Your life is boring. How did you learn to cook, Oksana?
It just happened. I don't remember how exactly I learned to cook. I think by making lots of mistakes.
So, learning from your mistakes, yes? That is how you learned to cook. Where did you go last summer, Ola?
Last summer, I went to Sri Lanka.
Oh, that is really interesting island, the island of tea, I
That's
believe.
right.
Oksana, I hope you like reading books because you're a teacher. When did you read a book?
I read a book 2 days ago. It was a book by Michel Houellebecq called Submission.
Oh, that is very interesting and a very modern writer. And the final question to you girls, did you do your homework?
Yes, we did.
Of course we did.
I hope, guys, you did as well. Let's move on. Good. And we continue to the next slides, yes? We will have now a closer look at one sentence. My mother disliked milk in her childhood. Well, I hope all of us, not only my mother, but also you and my colleagues and I, we all have some memories from our childhood or school years or student years. We can say that my mother disliked milk in her childhood, but now her habit is different. Now she does. So if we want to talk about our past habits or some regular activities or states, preferences in the past, we can use past simple as well, right? But we can also say it in a different way. We can say my mother used to dislike milk as a child or in her childhood. And let's have a closer look at this structure, used to. What does it mean? Well, used to is something that we use to talk about past habits or things that do not happen anymore. We need to remember that it has the same form in all persons, singular and plural. Yeah, so I used to dislike, you used to dislike, he, she used to dislike, and so on. And it is followed by infinitive. I used to eat a lot of sweets. I don't eat many sweets anymore. Good. Oh, let's have a look at this person. Do you girls remember who this person is?
Of course.
It's Mickey Rourke.
That's Mickey.
That's Mickey. Mickey, look at him as he was young. And he can say about himself, I used to smoke. We can ask a question. Did you used to smoke? Please mind the auxiliary verb did and use. You don't say did you used to smoke. Yeah? And the negative form, I did not used to smoke. Good. And we have some frequently asked questions about the structure used to, because you can ask a question, of course, that we have past simple. Why do we need all the headache with used to? Well, so the question is, can I use past simple instead of used to? Yes, you can. You can use past simple instead of used to with no difference in meaning practically. My mother disliked it or used to dislike milk in her childhood, which is basically the same sentence, the same meaning. So the next question is, they can always replace each other if they have the same meaning? And the answer is no, they can't. Because for completed actions in the past, we use past simple, not used to. Please have a look at those two sentences. I finished school, I got married. Those are single events, single facts from your past that mark the milestones of your past. And you don't use used to, of course. Used to is only for repeated regular activities or states, which are usually habits. Good. And what if you have a new habit now? You had a certain habit in the past, and what about now? If there is a new habit, for present habit, you use present simple. Good. So let's have a look at some habits. Before we can say, I used to smoke. If you talk about your past habits, I used to eat fast food. I used to go clubbing. I didn't used to sleep at nights. We're still talking about Mickey. And I didn't used to be fit. It is also possible. And if you want to talk about now, of course, for habits at present, you use present simple. You can say, now I don't smoke. Now I eat healthily. Now I go to the gym. Now I go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up early. and now I'm fit and strong. Good. So habits in the past, used to. Habits now, present simple. Good. Oh, girls, let's analyze now this person. I believe we all understand that this is
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, James Bond. But now he doesn't really look like James Bond. So I see that his lifestyle and his new habits are not as good as before. So can you please tell me some things about his old habits, about his previous life?
He used to have a six-pack. Now he has one pack.
A six-pack, you understand, guys, that it's six-pack abs, which defines the squares on your stomach, yes, and is a sign that you are very fit. Now he has one pack, which is maybe beer pack. Beer belly pack. Oля, can you give me a little analysis also about his previous life?
I think he used to be a secret agent, and that's why he used to be quite sexy, and right now he's not.
He is not a secret agent anymore. We can also say that his hair used to be dark. He used to be quite handsome. I believe he used to eat more healthily, and he used to have more girlfriends, I believe. Yeah, now he doesn't. You guys as well, you can analyze any picture, and I hope if you analyze your own pictures before and now, you will be able to see some positive progress, not the progress of Pierce Brosnan. Let's move on. Good. So now our job is the following. You will need to read this sentence and rewrite this sentence using the structure used to. I will give you the example. So when James was young, he hated school, and now he likes school. We can make a sentence. He used to hate school. I will project you more sentences. You will need to write a new sentence reflecting the same idea, but with used to. And I will show you the answers. So the next sentence. And the answer. When I was young, I used to think that people over 40 were old. The next one. Yes, Anne used to be a secretary for many years, but now she owns her own business. The next one. And yes, before Adam got married, he used to go bowling 5 times a week. His life used to be more interesting, don't you think?
Definitely.
Okay, and the next one. Yes, a long time ago, we used to raise chickens in our yard. What an interesting childhood. I believe nowadays children don't even know how a real alive chicken looks like.
I guess not.
They only know how nasha ryaba looks like in the supermarket.
And how it tastes.
Yes,
And how it smells.
and how it smells. And the next one. And yes, when we raised our chickens, we used to have fresh eggs every morning. A very interesting and nice eco-style life. And the final one. Yes, when Ben was a child, he used to crawl under his bed. Good. And now, guys, you will need to complete some personal details which are true for you, and we will do the same. Look, I used to drink, and you write down for yourselves what is that you used to drink and now you don't. And me, at the same time, I will interview myself and my colleagues about this one. So, me, I used to drink Coke, Coca-Cola, but now I don't. What about you girls?
I used to drink milk, but now I don't.
I used to drink vodka, but now I don't.
Oh, that's really wise of you. I used to live in, and you write true answers for yourselves. We discuss. Me, I used to live in the city which is called Kovel, and it's in Volyn region in the west of Ukraine. And what about you girls?
I used to live in Shanghai, China, but now I don't live there anymore.
I used to live in Kryvyi Rog, Dnipropetrovsk region.
Very nice. Good. I used to go to, but now I don't. I used to go to nightclubs, but now I don't. It's not interesting for me anymore.
I used to go to university, but now I don't.
I used to go to kindergarten, but now I don't, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it would be a nice idea to go to kindergarten now, yes? Sleep in the afternoon, finger paint and eat. Really nostalgic. I feel really nostalgic about those times. I used to play with, but now I don't. I used to play with Barbies, but now I don't.
I used to play with my cat, but she ran away.
I used to play with big wooden bricks because we didn't have Lego in the past, but now I don't.
Good. I used to read. You write two answers for yourselves. Me, I used to read Murzilka in my childhood. It was a really nice children's magazine.
I used to read some, I don't know, articles in Japanese, but now I don't.
I used to read a lot of books by Stephen King, but now I don't.
Okay. I used to watch cartoons, but now I don't.
I used to watch Glee, but now I don't.
I used to watch Grey's Anatomy, but now I don't.
Oh, what an interesting life. Now we have different interests. I used to listen, but now I don't. So you say what you used to listen to. And me, I used to listen to Laskavый Май, but now I don't. That's not really interesting for me anymore.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough question, yes?
I used to listen to Выпьем за любовь a lot, but now I don't.
Yes. Oh, Igor Nikolaev, he used to be a really popular singer and songwriter, yeah? Выпьем за любовь. It was a really interesting song. We used to listen to it. The next one, I used to get up at. I used to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning, but now I don't. Now I get up at 7 because 10 o'clock it's too late. What about you girls?
I used to get up at 5 or 6 when I went to university, but now I don't. I get up like at 9 or 10. It's much better, I guess.
Same for me. I used to get up at 6 or 7, but now I don't. I get up at 10 or 9.
Very nice. I used to go to bed at. Girls, when did you used to go to bed?
When I was at school, I used to go to bed like at 9 or 10, but now it's more like 1 or 2 a.m.
I used to go to bed in the morning, like at 5 or at 4 when I went clubbing, but now I don't.
Okay, good. And I used to love, but now I don't. It's a tough one, actually, to tell you, because in this case, my habits do not really change. But I can say that I used to love sleeping for a long time, but now I don't.
Well, I can say I used to hate honey, but now I eat it.
Mhm.
I used to love prunes, but now I hate them.
Okay, our tastes really change. And the final activity, guys, for you is to create questions to the same sentences. So, for example, I used to drink Coke, but now I don't. You will need to create a question beginning with what? This activity is to practice writing the questions. And I will give you the first one. So the logical question is, what did you use to drink? And the answer is, I used to drink Coke. Good. So I will project you a little bit more sentences and the beginning words. Your job is to write the questions, and after the activity, I will project you the answers. Давай я запроектирую. Okay, guys, good. So let's check our questions, shall we? Good. So I used to drink Coke. The question is, what did you use to drink? The next one, where did you used to live? The next, did you used to go to the library? The next, what did you use to play? The next one, did you use to read magazines? The next, did you use to watch news? The next one. What kind of music did you use to listen to? The next. At what time did you use to go to bed? And I believe that's it. So have a look again at your questions. Correct your mistakes. I hope you didn't have any. And I'm back to the studio. Okay, I'm back. Here I am. I hope the presentation was useful for you and you managed to practice using the structure used to. You managed also to understand the difference between past simple and used to. And in 1 minute, we start a new webinar in which we will discuss the difference between used to and one more synonymical structure, would. Thank you so much for your attention and see you soon.